Hey everyone, I hope that you're doing fantastic. I just actually got done doing, I guess it doesn't matter that I say this or not, because I don't know who watches those videos and what time frame you watch and when you found the video. But anyway, I'm hopping on here because I got on earlier and did a video about, I briefly had talked about animals, and I talked about having spider-like energies that had been sent my way by, black magic and stuff like that. I had done a couple of videos about that and briefly had touched about that. But I do want to talk about animals and things like that, because I have, like I said, I've had negative energies sent my way through animals and insects and stuff like that, and I've also had it in the positive show up. And I know that to some people that can be really foreign like stuff to hear, because I used to be, I was raised in a very religious type of home, very strict, okay? And when the Creator had begun to show me things in a totally different way and really changed my perspective and how I looked at things spiritually, there's a lot of actually things that you can find within what we call Scripture. Because I'm not bashing any of the Scripture, but there's positive and negative, and there's truth and lies in that book. And I've touched a lot about that on my channel. I won't go into all that stuff, but I wanted to get on here and talk to people who may feel like that's kind of foreign to connect with animals and stuff like that. Now, I'm not talking about going and, what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that animals can give us messages, and I know that for a fact because like I said, I've had encounters with things like that, and then things have happened, positive and negative. A year and a half ago, somebody died that the night before they died, a cat had ran out in front of me, and literally ran out in front of me, turned around and sat and looked at me, and me and that cat were just licking each other as I was walking. I had arrived home, and I was going around to my building walking, and here come this cat, like I said, and just sat right down, and we just locked eyes. But I heard in my spirit, at the midnight hour, I'll be going home. Well, I don't put any limits on spirit. So spirit can still speak to me through gospel music, through country music, through rock and roll music. I don't care. I don't put any kind of limits on. If I look at a tree and the spirit begins to speak to me about standing firm, I'll take it. If it's truth to me, I just don't put spirit in a box. And because I lived in a box for a long time, and he still found me within it and said, now open it up and let me out and let me show you who I really am. And but I love animals, and I had an encounter with, when I first started tarot and stuff like that, I had bought a card deck that were, animal totem-like things, and somebody that I tried to explain to them something one day about, the whole animal thing, they just didn't agree with it, which I understood where they were coming from, because I used to be that type of person. But now that I understand how the spirit speaks expressively, and you can take from anything to allow the spirit to speak to you and me, then we have that higher mind of understanding and knowledge and a genius light bulb going off to know that that's actually puts us one up in the game for the negative energies that want to come that way, because whether you want to accept that or not, it's going on all day long, every day, in any old kind of way. And so you can either tap in and understand what an animal can represent. It doesn't mean that that animal has a spirit within them. It could. It could. But, I love the fact that we can get messages all day long, every day, when we have a conscious mind open to the fact that the Creator is speaking to you and I every day. A lot of times people say, gosh, I've just been really trying to connect with the divine, or you can say, I've been praying and praying and praying, I just don't get an answer. Well, really the answers around you every day is just that you have been taught to have more of an understanding, a broader way of looking at things, so that you can have more of a chance to hear the answer that you're looking for. okay? Because when I began to really understand that when certain things were popping up around me, I may not have known what it was, but had a feeling on the inside to go look it up online. Well, what's this mean? Or the Spirit lead me to something that was connecting to the thing that was showing up in this realm, because He was trying to get a message to me, right? Because He would lead me in a new, I say He, the Creator is Spirit. It's masculine and feminine. I'm just used to saying He. But anyway, the Creator, God, Spirit, Universe, I don't care what you title it, would begin to lead me in a path that I had never known before, because He's like, I'm past finding out. I'll do what I want kind of stuff. And so when He began to use animals to give knowledge and wisdom about certain things and teaching me not to be afraid of that, then I really began to grow from a new place. And this is what this channel is about, getting people to open their mind to a place of not being afraid to learn. Because we know animals can in-house positive or negative energies. We see it within writings, we see it within the Greek writings, we see it within all kinds of writings all over the world. This is something that's not unknown, but it may be foreign to people to accept certain things. Because like I said, that cat came right. I've had several encounters with cats. It was within the last year and a half, to be quite honest with you, and dogs and things like that. I used to have a dog, and a couple of times my dog would just stop and just look out into nothing and bark, and I'd be like, what? And I knew that she was seeing something in another realm, because they're just very spiritual. Everything is spiritual, really. Nothing exists out here in this matter without it first happening in the spirit. As above, so below, right? What is in the earth realm is also because of what is in the heavenly realm. So once we have an understanding of that, and that we can get a message from anything, then you and I can find our answer in a very quick way, instead of having to grope around and go, where's the answer? What do you want me to know, God? What is it? Okay, well, I got to find it in this writing. No, it's not just in a writing. It's not just in, it's everywhere. Your answer is everywhere. You just have to open yourself up to receive it. So when I had seen that cat, and I heard and it's like I heard it spoke, but it wasn't it was something that the Creator used to allow me to understand that I could get an answer from anything. It was just part of my process that He was teaching me and learn and making me learn different ways of not putting Him in a box. Okay, so I just wanted to get on here, and I know a lot of people already know that, but I'm also talking to a lot of people who that's foreign to you to hear such a thing like that, and it was foreign to me as well. But at the same time, throughout my life, I always had animal. I can, even in my childhood, look back at some things and realize that was the Creator speaking through that thing, or sent an animal my way to be some type of a protective thing that the Creator used as such a thing like that in our life. I mean, once you and I take off the rose-colored glasses and really look at things for what they really are, then you really do find freedom within that. So, with that said, and I'm fixing to get on to another video for the nation as well, but the Creator had me sit down today and make some animal totem cards here. So if you see something that, and I'm not saying don't go reading into things. Once you allow your spirit to be opened up to truth and having this knowledge, then you don't have to go look for anything. If the Spirit wants to say something to you, then you'll just have that knowing on the inside, there's something about this, what does this mean? And then go look it up. We live in the information age now. You can look up anything online and find out what something means. Or you can just go into meditation. The Creator can just lead you in whatever path He wants to get something across to you. But I sit down today and went online and looked up a bunch of totems and animal totems and stuff like that. And I just want to pull one. So, I believe that you clicked on this video to get something for your path, or you wouldn't have wasted your time. I believe our steps are ordered by the Creator. He knew your steps and knew that you would push the play button on this video and knew what I said before you even hit the play button. And that's beautiful to me, that we can rest in the fact to know that we've got one on our side that will protect us and allow us to learn right where we're at and grow us in leaps and bounds and through anything that he wants to talk to us through. So let's go ahead and just get focused in here and see what kind of animal wants to come out here. We've got the dog, and I love that because the dog represents loyalty, and the Creator himself is loyal to you and me and will speak a thing. And the dog represents being protective. You know, dogs are protection. A lot of times people who live alone, they're lonely, they need a friend, they're considered, you know, a man's best friend, something like that. You know, they're loyal, they'll protect the home. They represent love, and they represent power. The dogs are powerful beings, and they represent awareness, and they represent love unconditionally, and the Creator loves you and I unconditionally enough to even send an animal to have to speak to you if even people won't, to speak through the spirit of a thing. He also loves you enough to allow you to see an animal that could have a negative meaning attached to that, so that you could be warned in something, because somebody around you could be coming towards you with that type of an energy. So if we're talking like an energy that is, I don't know, anything that could represent, you know, being sneaky or something like that, any kind of animal that would be like a sneaky type of a predatorish type of a thing, and you ended up seeing that either in the natural or on a billboard or something like that, but something in you just clicked. Well, you didn't pay attention to that kind of stuff because the Creator's trying to warn you or to tell you of something or something like that, you know, because like I said, that cat a year and a half ago that ran right out in front of me, and I heard it at the midnight hour, I'll be going home the next day, someone died that was supposed to be close to me, but I've got on here and talked about that person before, but I just wanted to just get on here and talk about animals and stuff like that, and just to have people just awaken to the fact that the Creator will talk to you and I if you will be open to the conversation in the way that the Creator wants to talk to you and I. All these things that exist around us in nature are for our pleasure. He gave us the world, right? And the earth to enjoy and to learn from it and to expand within it and to grow and to teach and all these things just by nature itself. You know, I can look at a chair and get a revelation if the Creator wants to talk to me about that chair. You know, I'm on, just like, you know, if you're weary or something like that, and somehow you just look over and you see your chair, and the Creator said, I want you to just sit down and relax. You know, He can just speak to you and I in any old way He wants to when you and I decide to say, okay, speak to me today. You don't have to say prove yourself. I mean, if you have to, and that's the only way that He's got to get His point across to you, and you have to say that, well, He won't be offended. He knows the motive of your heart. Because some people have to be proven this or proven that. We should test everything. And we should test it by way of truth. And so test what I'm saying to you. Give the Creator a chance to speak to you in such a mighty, mighty way that will be mind-blowing to you. And you go, wow, I knew, and I know, and I know, and I know, and I know for a fact that was the Creator. And that's just that, you know. So anyway, I just wanted to hop on here and talk about animals real quick because I've really been, for the last year and a half, it's been really, really, really major in my life that the Creator has just, you know, taken me down so many different paths and just showed me so many different facets of who He is. And it's beautiful. It really is. It's a whole new world. I'm hearing that song, and it really is a whole new world that you and I are entering into and knowing a thing. It's positive and negative at the same time happening, but eventually people wake up. Everybody's we're just gonna know. We're just gonna be able to look at each other's eyes and just know a thing without opening our mouth. I believe that someday a generation is gonna come up on the earth, and people are just gonna be so genius in their mind that, you know, we already got people who could look at a person and walk into a room, and without them opening their mouth, you know what they're thinking or what they're feeling, because you're sensitive to that kind of stuff. And the more information, because we live in the information world, right? The more information that you and I learn, then we're a one-up on the negative forces that try to use even those things in negative ways because it's being used in both. And I love the Creator. I just don't put him in a box, and I'm asking you to stop doing that because it's actually for your benefit. So anyway, until the next video, which will be shortly, I just wish you well and send you love and light, and ask you to just open yourself up to the Creator, because he's got major, major beautiful things coming your way if you do that. Shalom.